So listen, when did you start with the company?
I started in 2019.
Okay, so very, very new, just before the pandemic, right?
Exactly,
So you
just before the
basically you
pandemic.
started and then you bought the pandemic.
That's not a good sign, actually.
Italian Wine Podcast. Chin Chin with Italian wine people.
Welcome to another installment of On the Road Edition, hosted by Stevie Kim. Join her in this part 2 video of her interview with Amedeo Moretti Cuseri at the Tenuta Sette Ponti winery, located in Chianti, in the province of Arezzo. Today, they continue their discussion on the history of the property, the vineyards, and their other 2 estates located in Tuscany, Orma and Poggio al Lupo.
Alberto had to catch a plane, everybody's busy. But we have Amedeo, baby Moretti Cuseri. We didn't talk about Orma, which is in Bolgheri. Tell us a little bit about that, when you've started.
We got Orma in 2004. Orma is actually in Bolgheri, which is a dream place. Bolgheri is so beautiful because you have 1,100 hectares. The appellation is very small.
Yeah, it's tiny.
It's very tiny, but it's in a super beautiful place because it's exactly in front of the sea, in Maremma, north part of Maremma. And the terroir and the soil is very eclectic because you go from the sands, which is of course by the sea for a sandy soil, up to the rocky, like red rocky, full of iron, like very huge minerality. And then suddenly you have this beautiful macchia mediterranea. And then just behind our head, you have this beautiful Alpi Apuane, which protect actually the area from the cold freeze of the north. We call it Orma because this is in a specific place. Orma in Italian means footprint. So it's 7.5 hectares in the Via Bolgherese, which is like a very good area for vines. And we're just next to Ornellaia and the vineyards of Sassicaia. So when we got this very small property, the idea was like to put our footprint in the middle of the big giants.
And but it's a small property, right?
Very small. It's 7.5 hectares, and we planted 5.5.
Okay, so 5
of Merlot, Cabernet Franc, and Cabernet Sauvignon.
And what wines are you producing in Orma?
We're producing 2 wines. Orma, which is the IGT, the cru, and then the little brother, which is the Bolgheri DOC. And actually it's the same cepage, same blend, but Passi di Orma come from the youngest vines, and Orma come from the eldest one.
And what are your developments? Like, what do you see in the future with Orma?
Orma, we want to be like. Every time we get like a property or estate, we really want to represent the terroir. We fall in love first of the terroir because we always think we fell in love with Orma and with Bolgheri. Once we get there, when you breathe and you see all the beauty that is there, we always think that the vines is gonna live and gonna breathe and gonna live the same as we feel. So every time we get a new estate, we want to represent and to express at its best the terroir. And Orma, it has to be like a Bordeaux blend, but that it has this soul and this, not aggressivity because it's too strong, but this like strong soul of the terroir.
So what are the main challenges of, having 3 different estates in Tuscany? What are the main challenges?
Well, it's not really a challenge because all of them are very special and very different. And when you taste the wines, you see that they really come from a different specific estate. So it's just a matter of explaining what we do, where we produce it, and let the people recognize that it's a different wine and recognize where they're from, what is the characteristic, what is the flavor, what is the taste. So it's just a matter of communications, of make people taste, of tell the story behind what we do, how we do. That's the beauty of it, actually. It's not a challenge.
So listen, when did you start with the company?
I started in 2019.
Okay, so very, very new, just before the pandemic, right?
Exactly,
So you
just before the
basically you
pandemic.
started, and then you bought the pandemic.
That's not a good sign,
Yeah.
actually.
And now that the pandemic, I mean, it's not over yet, right?
It's
But we
not.
are cohabitating, right? What are some of the new ideas that you have as Amadeo, as the youngest, as the new arrival into the wine company of the family business? What would you like to do?
No, first of all, we noticed that there are now so many different ways to be connected to the people that love wines. So even through internet, even to Zoom meeting, even through podcasts, like the pandemic, helped us out to find a lot of new ways to get in contact to people. So before it was mainly one-to-one meeting or one-to-one business, and we had this idea that if you're not there with the wine and having people in front of you, make them tasting, it wasn't the same thing. But now everything is more approachable, more reachable, in terms of getting in touch, getting content, communication, marketing, promotion. So it really, the pandemic really helped us, but all the world, I mean, it's not the wine business, I think it's a general thing. It shortcuts the way you can communicate, and it's more approachable and more getting easy to get close to the people that you want to get in touch with.
So tell us a little bit about the party that you threw last night. Yeah.
Oh, last night we had this amazing tasting in the vineyard. Actually, in between.
You're almost like a wedding planner. You were going crazy, right?
Yeah. There wasn't a cake actually. Yeah. We missed the cake. Yeah. No, we were exactly between two of the Merlot parcel last night. We have this kind of a great setting of tables. It was one big row. We were 100 people sitting on this table. And I think it's a very, very nice evening because we have it at sunset, so from 8 p.m. And we usually taste some red wine, but also we had some Sicilian wine, white wine and rosé. And we try to pair it with typical Tuscan food. So we had the typical porchetta that I know you love very much.
Yes, pork, yes.
Which is actually a very typical Tuscan meal. We had panzanella, which is a meal with bread, tomato, sedano, and citriolo. And it's actually very typical from Tuscany because you have to prepare it with old dry bread.
Yeah, so we had this kind of a buffet style,
yeah, buffet.
But served with your wines. Exactly. And you've invited about 100 guests.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? It kind of reminded kind of the event that the Vialone dei Cipressi from Bolgheri, right? They do that.
That's because we have a line of cypress on the
yes,
side.
But it was really lovely. But how often do you do this?
We do this kind of event twice a year in summer.
So just a small segue into the other estates, because you do have other estates, not just in Tuscany, but also in Sicily, our next favorite region. Where are your wineries in Sicily?
Feudo Maccari, which is in Noto, south of Sicily, the southest part of Sicily. If you see
but it's an inland, right?
Inland, yes. No, it's not inland, it's by the sea.
It is the seaside.
Yeah, it's by the seaside, yeah. It's
okay.
on the seaside, but in the south. And then we have Anima Ardente, which is in the Etna volcano.
Right, everybody knows where Etna is.
Well,
that's
yeah,
kind of the sexy
so
wine
You've
from
been
Sicily,
there,
right? Yes, I actually have been there.
Did you feel the energy of the volcano once you get there? I always feel this strong energy.
I think everyone just loves being in Etna, and also the wines. People love Etna wines right now, especially the Americans. So hopefully we can go and visit your estates also in Sicily very soon.
Can't wait.
Okay. All right. So that's a wrap for now. I know we're heading into Arezzo, and Amedeo is going to be kind of our cicerone. He's going to show us, where to get the best coffee and best pastries, and give us a lovely town. How far is Arezzo from here?
15 minutes by car.
Okay, so
very close.
Alrighty, so see you in Arezzo, and that's a wrap for now. Chin Chin with Italian Wine People from Sette Ponti. Ciao ragazzi!
Ciao!
And that's a wrap from Sette Ponti in Chianti. Join Stevie again next time for another episode of On the Road Edition. And remember, for even more great video content from Mama Jumbo Shrimp every week, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. We also have great wine podcasts being released every day. Just go to Italian Wine Podcast, wherever you get your pods.